No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-hosts are not necessarily those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast episode 165. It is draft day edition. I am your host, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here, as always, with my co-host, Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. T-Money, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC, a.k.a. Super Saiyan 2 Black Nappa.
What's happening?
And returning to Smackin' Raw podcast from the Smacked Raw podcast, he is now the Brock Lesnar of the Smacked Raw podcast because he shows up whenever the fuck he feels like it. Vince Delgado, what's going on, man?
You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
No, we do. It's for draft day.
Come on, man. Get into like the Razor Ramon Hall like promo. I was trying to do something here. I was trying to like make my jump over to the Smackin' Raw podcast, play like a whole kayfabe.
But then once you do that, he was channeling his inner Eric Bischoff and killing it right away.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just didn't recognize it because I didn't see him in like a leather jacket and the bike in the.
Chill out, T-Bar. All right.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me on the show. Last minute additions, but I always have fun talking.
Listen,
with you too.
We were in the chat. You said you had nothing going on. It's draft day. We had a lot of things happen specifically tonight that I'm sure everyone wants to talk to. And we love having you on. So I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And then I found out at the last minute, I'm like, you mean I could have took the night off? And it's just.
All right. So as you guys know, we start off every show, almost every show. A couple shows ago, I did it later in the show. But we always talk Black Lives Matter, and we ask you guys to please go support Young Kings Wrestling Podcast. Despite Travis's feelings about TC, please go buy that Black Lives Matter shirt. The money goes to a good cause. We do appreciate it, and it's election time. You can get your ballots. You can vote. Local elections are very important. We saw it today. I saw that the cop who knelt on George Floyd is being allowed to move due to safety concerns out of state. The judge is allowing that. Now, let me ask you this. If this was a black civilian that knelt on a cop's neck, do you think due to safety concerns, they let him move out of state? They absolutely wouldn't. If you're telling me, well, Matt, that's different because this is a cop. Well, I want you to apply that same logic when we talk about police brutality and you bring up black on black violence. It's different. It's not the same. This cop is being allowed to move out of state due to safety concerns. That is something they would not allow a civilian, a black man especially, the right to do. It is unfair. There is an issue with our justice system. Things need to be get done. It's election time, so please go out, rock your vote. You know, they got the voting stuff with all the naked celebrities telling you to go vote. Go vote. Make a difference in your community.
There's a pinned tweet on my Twitter right now. Go vote. It's a link and show you how you can vote in your state and vote safely. And you get to see strippers.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
So yeah, I agree with what Wes said earlier. Support the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast. Buy that Black Lives Matter shirt. But fuck TC and everybody that look like TC.
What about Wreak Havoc?
He all right.
Okay.
I mean, he was all right until he did his NXT draft and fucked.
Bro, oh my gosh, that shit was trash.
Trash.
Was terrible.
Terrible.
I never said he was smart.
Travis, he drafted first round. He drafted Randy Orton and Ruby Riott to NXT
and The Miz.
And
then later on, drafted Morrison separately, wasting the pick.
Yeah, I never said he was smart.
To be fair, the way they did their draft was interesting. I didn't like the concept of
Oh no, I give
them
TC
going
so much
three.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody gets 3 picks. Well, that screws over the third brand. By the time he gets to the third brand,
6 people are already picked. Yeah,
6 great picks have already been taken. So you know.
Wait, what happened? I didn't hear this.
So their draft, they did a mock draft where TC was SmackDown, Malik was Raw, and Reek was NXT. And basically they had the entire pool, but they weren't drafting champions. They were going to leave champions alone. We found out later in the show that TC set that up because he didn't want to have to waste a draft pick on Roman Reigns, but he didn't want to lose Roman Reigns. So he's like, we're not going to draft champions.
TC
tag teams
set that up.
Yeah, tag teams get drafted.
That's the kind of thing that disrespectful motherfuckers do.
Tag teams get drafted as 1 pick, blah, 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 blah. Well, each round was 3 picks, and I don't know how it got confused, but somehow it ended up being TC said, well, this was my idea. I'm going to go first. And he got to make his 3 picks first before anyone got a pick.
Oh,
so he got 3 picks right off the top. Then Malik got 3 picks, and then Reek was like, well, shit, 6 people have already been drafted.
Oh, and the 6 top people have been drafted that weren't champions. Oh, fuck that. Yeah, you fucked up, TC.
Yeah, TC fucked over Reek. But then also too, Reek just kind of like choked in the final moment, like Danny Green.
There's a way to redeem that a bit if they did the draft serpentine style. Did they do a serpentine style?
Nope, they didn't.
Oh,
they screwed over Reek.
Yeah, they definitely screwed him over there.
I kind of want to do like a whole draft thing, like to show them how it's properly done.
We really should do one. We should do one, but we make everybody available. Champions don't matter. That's not the point. Yeah, it's just us putting together the best rosters we can, and that's the thing now. So we're doing that next week.
Yeah, we'll do it. If you guys will have me, I'll jump on there. We'll do like a little mock draft. I'm with
I said we, not you.
Oh, okay, fine. Jeez. Fine.
No, we need you make that brand, Vince.
You make that so easy. Like every time you.
I know I do, man. But it's kind of like the dynamic I bring to the show, man. It's like you kind of have to do that. It's kind of like the Corey Graves, Byron Saxton stick. So I kind of have to feel like I have to.
So you're the Smackin' Raw podcast, Byron Saxton.
Yes.
Got it.
Love, like goofy, nerdy, but charming at the same time, and I have my supporters.
Are you standing Nia Jax as well? Are you sending her tweets and? No. Well, Travis is standing Sasha Banks, and he's sending her panda gifts. And in honor of another great WWE theme that we lost this week, that they're going to claim a copyright strike against us, even though apparently they don't own the rights for it.
Yeah, this one bothered me too. Not as much as the other, but.
We got
a panda humping another panda.
I don't know if they're humping or if
they're just cuddling up.
It looks like he's trying to get him up for a back suplex.
I think he's trying to reposition the other panda.
Is that a reach around?
No, it sounds like he's trying to reposition and try something else.
Are dirty.
We are on Pornhub, Travis.
Oh, my wife and my baby are here.
I'm not saying we're not justified in being dirty. I'm just saying you are. I'm just stating facts.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I've accepted that.
What?
I'm completely okay with it.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Kate came to let me know that the baby's wide awake, and now she's stuck with the wide awake baby.
That's tough.
I told her I couldn't take her because I'm not putting my child on Pornhub, so she had to wait. And then she said, "You just don't put this on Pornhub." I'm like, "That's not what we do here."
that's our thing. So it's just
exactly. In news and rumors, right off the top, Halloween Havoc is returning, and it is not a pay-per-view. It is a regular NXT Wednesday night show, and I am happy about it returning. Not happy that they're not making it a pay-per-view.
They did the same thing with the Great American Bash,
and I didn't like that either. If you're gonna do it,
me.
do it.
They just had a takeover, though.
I don't care.
People complain about main roster having back-to-back pay-per-views, and here, like, people aren't going to complain that it's not a pay-per-view. It's just going to be a special, man. It's still going to be 2 hours.
Then they should have waited and done TakeOver 31 as Halloween Havoc.
TakeOver Halloween Havoc?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe they got something else planned. You don't know
I
what
might have watched it if they did that.
Also, fucking Travis.
You do a show to watch you do a podcast to watch the wrestling show.
Look,
how would you not watch it?
I'm going to tell you like I told Rico on Twitter. Look, give me a reason to watch a takeover, and I'll watch takeover. Build up to this takeover. I had no reason to give a shit about anything that was going to happen on that show, regardless of how the show may have turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
The build up they gave me to that show says Travis doesn't give a shit.
And since Vince wasn't on the Smack Raw podcast to give us a week-by-week breakdown that made NXT seem better than it was, we had no reason to go watch that show. I still watched it, and it was fantastic. But
right.
No, I've decided I'm no longer giving my energy to things that I don't want to watch, which is why random weeks I just don't watch AEW.
I wasn't referring to TakeOver. I was referring to watching the Halloween Havoc special.
Oh, he'll watch that.
I'll watch
We're going to cover that.
So you'd watch that live. You'd watch the non-Hulu.
Probably not live.
No, it'll be on Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, here's the thing. Shotzi Blackheart's going to be hosting it, so she's definitely going to come out with the tank. It's going to show up on Hulu.
I've seen it.
He's seen it. Yes.
So it's canon. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yes. That's all I wanted out of 2020. It's for Travis to see the tank.
What is no longer canon? Glow has been canceled. And I am also severely disappointed because I enjoyed the shit out of that show.
I did too.
It was a good show.
And last but not least, Vince, I'm glad you're here for this. Alberto Del Rio has been indicted on sexual assault charges.
Why are you glad Vince is here for this, man?
Because I have a question for Vince.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm Mexican? That's racist.
No, this has nothing to do with your race. This has nothing to do with your race.
Really? Then what other connection would there be here, Matt?
Give me a second and I'll get there.
Okay.
So Alberto Del Rio has been indicted on sexual assault charges.
Okay.
They're saying he is facing 5 to 99 years in prison. There is no connection. I'm just glad you're here because Travis will just give me a, okay, but you'll give me an answer. How do they determine what level of sexual assault gets you 5 years versus 99 years? That is a very wide spread of years of imprisonment.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I watch plenty of Law and Order SVU, but I don't pay attention to like the logistics of how like everything is processed, how they make these decisions. I just kind of watch it for like, the drama.
I mean, we've been saying this, it's been very much at the forefront of the news lately that our justice system is broken. So
yeah. Clearly, yeah.
Just, when you have a span of 5 years to 99 years.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, and like I feel like I speak for all our Mexican people, our Latinos. We do not claim Alberto Del Rio or Alberto Patron or whatever his name is now. We do not claim him. We claim Andrade. We claim Angel Garza, Santos Escobar, Eddie. Happy birthday to Eddie, 53 today. So that's who we should be shouting out today.
Shout out Eddie. Happy birthday, Eddie.
Who's the other one that was tagging with Dominic? What's his name?
Humberto.
Rey Mysterio, Humberto. Carrillo.
Humberto. Okay, I did hear you say Humberto.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because it reminded me of that Dave Chappelle skit, the race draft. It's draft day where they didn't claim OJ. We don't. Alberto Del Rio, you are officially the OJ Simpson of the Hispanic community. Congratulations.
Specifically Mexicans too, man. Get the fuck out of our country, man. We don't want you.
Damn. All right. So let's take a general consensus here. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go right into the draft? Do we want to blow our load right off the top, or
I mean, I think we should just pretend AEW didn't happen, but
did you watch it this week?
I did.
Okay.
How much did I pay attention to it? I don't really know.
I've got some things I want to say about AEW this week because they made some weird fucking decisions. So.
Yeah.
Like that main event.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're tag teams. That's what they do.
Draft. Start with the draft. Save it for the end so people have to sit around and listen to hear our thoughts. So they can't just turn it off after SmackDown. Make them wait.
They're not going to turn it off after SmackDown.
No, they wouldn't, man. We're way too charismatic for that.
If they're in for the whole thing, we're talking about the draft on SmackDown. They're in for the whole show.
Roger that. Then SmackDown.
I'm not saying we start there.
Well, Vince did, and he's the guest.
I'm just saying I'm pushing 30, so we might as well blow my load because that's early on, because that might be my move going forward. That might just be me 5 minutes in and I'm out.
I kind of, it's really funny you brought that up, Vince, because we were driving over here and I was talking to you about coming on, or I was driving over here and I was thinking about how you said the very first thing you were going to talk about was that Triple H tweet, which I'm not going to let you talk about. We'll get to it. But you said it, and I'm like, I was like, I really hope he does that, like right in the intro, so I can be like, whoa, Vince, chill. This is the Smackin' Raw podcast. This is about subtlety and nuance. We are a very nuanced, subtle podcast. We don't just pop our cork right at the beginning. It's probably why you're single. You need to relax, get a rhythm going.
Hold up. No need for cheap shots.
A little foreplay.
I'm all about foreplay, but sometimes things just get you going. You just jump right into it, man. You gotta go in raw sometimes.
If y'all both ready, you ready?
Let's go. Wherever you guys want to go. You lead the way.
Let's go in Raw with SmackDown. We kick it off with the very first round of the draft. We're not going to cover the people that stayed on their shows because do we really care about who stayed on their shows unless there's something significant I thought there. So the only person in the first round draft that actually went anywhere was Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do the really terrible bit where Seth is in the back going, I'm just glad I don't have to be around the Mysterios anymore. Basically telling us the Mysterios are getting fucking drafted. I
was
to SmackDown.
So irritated. I'm like, yo. And I was just thinking like, oh, brilliant. Because they were like, oh, this is a very bad idea. This is a shitty story. How do we get out of it? Oh, we'll just move Seth to the other show. I'm like, thank you. And then they did this. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. Just, damn it. They got a get out of jail free card.
It's like they were like, SmackDown's been great for the last few weeks. How can we ruin it? Let's move that Mysterio Seth Rollins story over there.
I don't know, man. This Roman Reigns shit might override it. I think that's what they thought. They could get away with this story if they put it underneath all the Roman Reigns and Fiend stuff.
Well, the Fiend might not be staying on SmackDown.
He's not going anywhere.
Because WrestleVotes tweeted this. He was saying that, like, as of 10 a.m. this morning, tonight, the early plan is to keep Drew and Roman staying put, but Seth and Bray to switch brands. And one of that's already come to fruition. Like 3/4 of that's already come to fruition. So why not switch over Bray over to Raw? So
here's the thing: if Bray goes to Raw, then Alexa obviously also needs to go to Raw.
For sure. Yes.
I'm not going to be mad if they team Bray up with Aleister Black and give Aleister something to do.
I want Aleister to be.
When you say team him with Aleister Black, are you talking an actual tag team,
or just like a faction, or
just kind of a faction thing?
A faction alliance.
Because they seem to be doing the faction thing again, and I'm happy that factions are back.
Yes,
because you've got Alexa and then Bray and Aleister together as a team. Mm-hmm. I'm all for that.
Speaking of factions, another person who got moved to Raw when we get to it. Looks like somebody who leads another faction is looking for a new recruit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But before we get there, and Travis, I'm going to let you get your anger out, but we're not quite there yet. Big E defeats Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere match. We are reunited joyously with the New Day. Kofi and Xavier are back. They let us know that they're here for the tag team titles. A very hurt Big E is in the back. They do the New Day Rocks thing. Everyone's so happy that the New Day is back. Travis, I know you can't hold it. So later on,
feeling right then and there when Big E wasn't immediately celebrating, something told me something wrong was there. Like I felt it.
Later in the night, we get the New Day defeating Cesaro and Shinsuke to become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And it looks like the now 7-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions have reunited with Big E. He's going to be a huge single star. They've got the tag titles. Everything's going good. And then in the very first round of that part of the draft, Stephanie McMahon breaks everyone's heart and says that Raw has drafted the New Day, Kofi, and Xavier. And you just hear from the ring, say Big E. Why didn't she say Big E? Say Big E. And she does say Big E, but he's been drafted by SmackDown.
Jesus. Okay.
This is going to be a little bit different because I'm completely sober. But WWE, your king is here, and I have some words. What the fuck? You had a good thing going here, and it could go forever. Literally forever. You know why? Besides the fact that New Day rocks, because the people still love them, and they will continue to love them as the New Day forever. Like, you think with most teams, people get tired of them, like, yeah, it's about time for them to split. No, it's not. This is the exception. This is the exception to the rule. You keep them together and it still works. Like, you want Big E to have his single run, let him do it. You don't have to split them up to do that. You proved it with Kofi. Like, let them do their thing. But as a unit, they are better than the sum of their parts when they're together. It's just, you split it up, you're going to ruin it, and you got to bring them over to Raw, and it's just not going to feel right. And then that's when people are going to get tired of the team. And guess what? That's when Xavier Woods disappears. Because he's going to be the casualty in all this.
Might be, unfortunately. I mean, he always got up, down, down.
He'll be okay, like, in the long run, like his career otherwise, you know. But as far as wrestling goes, this is going to kill it for him.
I mean, there was talk supposedly from WrestleMost that they were thinking about in the draft, like moving Kofi to Raw, Big E to SmackDown, both still being a member of New Day, but with Xavier Woods filling the managerial role and jumping between the shows to manage both of them. So they could still cross that threshold if they want to put Kofi as a singles guy on Raw.
See, first off, they made the mistake in not putting NXT in this draft in any way, shape, or form. They're not part of the draft pools. They're not on either Raw or SmackDown. They're not allowed to make draft picks. I would have put Kofi on Raw, Big E on SmackDown, and sent Xavier Woods down to NXT where he could build himself up as a top singles guy, maybe even be champion. If you're going to break him up anyway. But here's the thing. Travis, as much as I love the New Day, you remember how happy you were going to be if Mandy Rose got drafted back to SmackDown because it was going to make me miserable? Knowing how much this hurts you really did just spark a little bit of joy inside me. Because Big E is still going to be a singles main eventer. Xavier Woods and Kofi are still together. The New Day still rocks. It's not completely gone. But just knowing that you were hurt just a little bit.
That's just very petty.
And actually it's different too. Because what I'm laughing at with Matt is his just pure annoyance at something. Mm-hmm. This genuinely bothered me though. Like, this is different. Like, Matt's just annoyed at just, like, you know, the concept of the split brands. So that's funny to me that they keep, like, just saying fuck you to Matt on that. But, you know, I'm talking about a man's career here, you know?
Yeah. So I guess my question here, and that was the first thing that happened that popped into my head, is they were drafted as the newly won SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
Obviously, that means Street Profits are going to SmackDown because, Bianca got drafted there, but they can't have both titles there. Well, I floated the idea on Twitter and in the group chat saying, what if this leads to a unification match where they have the same setup as the women's tag titles, where they can travel between Raw and SmackDown, considering they don't have a deep tag team pool on either show. This would allow New Day to still be around like Big E. They can still show up on SmackDown. And that's one way you can keep them together while still separate them and letting Big E go in on a singles push. Another reason,
and that it gives me. Oh, sorry.
Another thing I was thinking about is, like, if they really build a Big E, we're assuming he's going to be facing Roman for that title. What if he wins the Rumble and decides, I want to go back with the New Day? I want to go back with my boys, and goes over to Raw and challenges the WWE champion over there. Maybe it's just like it's like a small little breakup in between there. So
he can't go to Raw. That's Keith Lee's spot.
Keith Lee can win the Rumble and go over to SmackDown. I want to see SmackDown.
Wait. If Big E wins the Rumble and goes to Raw, how does Keith Lee win the Rumble and go to SmackDown?
And plus, that's not happening either, because at WrestleMania, we're getting Roman Reigns versus The Rock, okay? That's what's happening, all right? So,
Keith Lee, how do we know Keith Lee's staying on Raw? He could be drafted over to SmackDown on Monday. To be determined.
We'll have to see where Retribution ends up.
Oh, they're staying on Raw, man. Come on.
Well, that's where Mia Yim is, and they don't like to split up couples. So your theory about Bianca Belair,
they just split up couples. They have Jay.
They haven't because it hasn't finished yet.
But
so we're gonna no. Hold on. Let's
the whole not wanting to split couples thing doesn't even apply right now because they're doing everything in the same city.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're all in like fucking the Orlando Magic's. Like,
you literally just said Bianca went to SmackDown, so Street Profits are going there. That was part of your logic because Bianca.
The main logic was the SmackDown Tag Champions are on Raw. Now the Raw Tag Champions have to travel over. Why would you have two Tag Team Champions on the same brand?
To unify them.
Unless you unified them. But even still, I would like to see Street Profits go over to SmackDown.
I'm just happy if I get to see that Street Profits versus New Day match, though.
Let's just run through the finer points of the draft. Naomi and AJ got drafted to Raw. Mm-hmm. Bianca got drafted to SmackDown, as Vince said. The Miz and Morrison.
Wait, we are not going to gloss over Naomi going to Raw because there was a tweet that came out from Mr. Montel Vontavious Porter.
MVP.
And he's got his eye on Naomi. We're going to see. Is she in?
I think she should be in.
Because she should be. She absolutely should be.
My favorite Naomi was when she turned heel and joined up with Tamina and Sasha and formed Team Bad. I felt like that was the most legit I felt for her as a legit contender. Yes, she had the Feel the Glow moment. She was a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. But she was never given that chance to be legit. And her turning heel, joining the Hurt Business, I would love to see a Naomi-Asuka matchup. And the main focus in this draft was to build up opponents for Asuka and for Bayley or Sasha on SmackDown and vice versa for the main champions, Drew and Roman. So if you turn Naomi heel and have her join the Hurt Business, that could be the WrestleMania match right there for the Raw side. You build her up throughout all these months as this dominant woman with this faction. Mm-hmm. Why not go with it, man? This is what Naomi needs. I'm all for it. Give me more of that.
I'm with you on that. Miz and Morrison to Raw. Ray and Dominic to SmackDown. Bullshit. And then Jay Uso stays on SmackDown. Jimmy goes. Jimmy's wife is on Raw. His brother is on SmackDown as of right now because he's injured reserve. He has gone undrafted. And what WWE said with this draft is that there are draft pools. They will draft from those draft pools. And anyone that doesn't get drafted will be a free agent and allowed to go to whatever brand they want.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever brand will have them because, you're just going to show up. Whatever.
Yeah, so you can't. My whole theory with that is they had to draft Jay by himself. He's going to have a Hell in a Cell championship match against Roman Reigns. You can't be drafted as a tag team. You can't. It just diminishes your credibility as a singles guy if you're drafted with your brother. And his whole thing is he's trying to, separate himself from being the other twin. So I think
it's just straight. Wait. You can draft the New Day together without having to have Big E separate himself from the group to be a single star, but you can't draft the Usos together while having Jay separate himself to be a single star?
Yeah, because it's apples and oranges here, man. Like Big E, they've been building him up as a singles guy, and it's different from a tag team. That's a faction right there.
They've been building Jay up as a singles guy too.
That's why they drafted Otis by himself because
I was going to bring that up too because that was the very next thing. So we already talked about the New Day was Otis got drafted and Tucker didn't. So does that mean Heavy Machinery is done? Because
because Tucker's not going to get drafted, so he's just going to go over the road with Otis.
If they'll have him.
If they'll have him.
Yeah.
I don't want to gloss over Bianca going over to SmackDown because she got called up after WrestleMania and showed up to Raw and did nothing. They did nothing with her. And then on NXT, she was on the cusp of being a top contender for that championship and was never given that opportunity. I feel like on SmackDown she could get that shot because SmackDown was losing top names like Lacey Evans done, Naomi it's been done, Alexa, Nikki, they've all been done. So this is a fresh face here with Bianca going over to SmackDown. And I tweeted this. If you don't give us Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the women's title at some point, this is a missed opportunity, and it's a fail.
Definitely.
SmackDown of the three brands has the weakest women's roster.
Yeah.
It is the most depleted.
It's all Bailey.
Bailey's beat everyone.
Bailey's beat everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So exactly. they need to rebuild that women's roster because Bailey's beat everyone. There's no one left.
Exactly.
And if you look at who Raw has now, and especially NXT, because NXT's roster is fucking ridiculous.
Ember Moon, Tony Storm. Jesus.
By
they
adding
just
them.
keep adding people.
So those are really the only big moves for the draft. But they did say, yes, Travis.
Did you say Tony Storm?
Tony Storm showed up on TakeOver, and she's coming to NXT.
We're going to talk about that when we get to NXT, Travis, because there was a video package you need to go look up. We'll talk about it when we get to NXT. That is an NXT thing.
Hit up the network after this, man.
Hit up YouTube after this and look up Tony Storm's vignette or promo video. Anyway, so that's all that really happened when we go to the draft. As far as people changing, everyone else basically stayed on their same brands. Then we do have the Jey Uso coming out. He calls out Roman Reigns because he wants to know the stipulation. I blew my load a little early on Twitter and said I thought this was going to be a Hell in a Cell match. And then Roman showed up like right after I sent the tweet and said they're going to do an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm with it.
I know you're
all for this.
Super excited.
Makes sense.
Makes
Especially
perfect
since
sense.
Roman was saying that it's going to be the most highest stake match. You know, the most consequences in this match. How do you raise it? This is some shit you create in WWE 2K when you create your own custom match. You make a night quit match with like the Hell in a Cell. That's what Roman did. He was playing the WWE 2K while he was gone. He's like, that's a cool match. I want to have that with my cousin.
And it fits the story so perfectly because during the last match, that whole time was like, you acknowledge me as a tribal chief. You do it, and he wouldn't do it. So now it's just like, him having to say I quit is basically him having to acknowledge what Roman Reigns is, which is a tribal chief. He's getting what he wants.
I think as of right now, we have 3 Hell in a Cell matches scheduled for Hell in a Cell. We have Randy Drew in Hell in a Cell, Roman J in Hell in a Cell I Quit, and Sasha Bailey in Hell in a Cell, which we'll get to in a minute here. So we get that, and then we have this fantasy tag team match. So Matt Riddle went to Twitter and said, with the draft coming, he really wishes he could team with Jeff Hardy before one of them possibly gets drafted to another show. And he looked up to Jeff Hardy, blah, 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 blah. No one gives a shit. Riddle and Jeff defeat Morrison and The Miz. Not important. What is important is Lars Sullivan has returned. We find out he's getting added to the draft pool on Monday Night Raw. I tweeted it out. I put it in the Facebook group. I'm going to say it here. I am so surprised they did not send him to NXT and the Island of Misfit Toys along with Velveteen Dream and Austin Theory. I actually got a little heat on Twitter from that comment. Someone didn't like it. Whatever. But no, like Mitch.
Especially with like rumors that maybe NXT is signing Tessa. So
yeah, like you take Tessa, the racist, Velveteen Dream, the accused pedophile, Austin Theory, the accused pedophile. Why not throw down the guy who made a gay porno and then was racist and homophobic in a group chat after making gay porno? Stick them all down on that brand.
Yeah, they're doing their best to ruin NXT, and
it's like Reek's running the show, man.
Yeah, it's like Reek's he's ruining NXT no matter which way he can. He's hell bent on ruining. That's why I stopped covering NXT on the Smackin podcast. I knew it was going downhill. I knew Reek was getting his hands on it.
But that's not all that happened. I don't know if Travis saw this. I saw it. You brought it to my attention. Vince, what happened on Twitter with Triple H?
So while I was scrolling down on Twitter, I saw a lot of people showing the caption, like a screen grab, of Triple H liking a post that said, "This is my favorite Lars Sullivan match," and it's the screen grab of the gay porno that he did with the other guy. So it's just literally him like close up to the other guy, and the caption's like my favorite Lars Sullivan match.
And Triple H liked that shit.
And Triple H liked that. So I'm like, is it real? If you go to Triple H's official Twitter account, it's on his likes. I don't know if he changed it because I noticed it, but there's enough screen grabs where it's legit. It's fucking legit. Like, that's your boss, man. He out here like roasting you on Twitter.
What are you gonna do about it?
100% went and checked. 100% went and checked. It's real.
That's what I'm saying. The thing is, what's Lars gonna do about it? Like
nothing. He ain't doing shit.
You can't really like claim anything about somebody clicking like on an Instagram post or a Twitter post. Like
he's taking that L. Speaking of taking that L, Bailey loses to Sasha by DQ, which I'm pretty sure we all knew were coming.
Yeah, we knew they were going to throw it out somehow. So,
like I said, we're going to get that Hell in a Cell match. That's going to be the blow off, probably.
Yeah.
Talked about the New Day defeating Cesaro and Shin, become the new tag team champions.
They were saying that I think after the show, like they're gonna do some like late night drafts from like the free agent pool,
Talking Smack.
On Talking Smack. So there's like people that weren't drafted, that were free agents, are probably gonna be moved over there, like guys like Buddy Murphy and Tucker. Yeah. So we're still not.
I'm actually gonna check out Talking Smack tomorrow. So
it's on the free version, so why not?
Yeah. Well, I already pay for it, so it don't matter if it's
free. To say we already pay for the network. We don't,
Then we had Otis backstage after getting drafted. Apparently, Miz has asked for a continuation of the lawsuit because they ran out of time on the show and couldn't do the Miz lawyer segment, and that's what they decided to cut, and I don't blame them because I don't give a shit. Travis, do you give a shit about Otis and his money in the bank in this lawsuit?
No, because I keep forgetting he has that damn briefcase. So,
Vince, do you give a shit about Otis and the briefcase in that fucking lawsuit?
I want Otis to disappear.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Also, does Miz continue to have a lawsuit when he's on Raw and Otis is on SmackDown? Like,
I mean, the incident still happened, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So legally,
after the draft, we might get some fucking cross-brand bullshit because they have to finish this fucking story.
Oh, you were going to get cross-brand bullshit anyway, sir.
You always get cross-brand bullshit like the pay-per-view after the draft. There's always some carryover to
some leftover shit, yeah. And
like things can happen at a pay-per-view where both shows are. I'm fine with that. I don't want to see Raw superstars on fucking SmackDown, and I want to see SmackDown superstars on fucking Raw unless it's the goddamn Survivor Series and there's a fucking reason for it. Other than that, stay the fuck away from each other. I need a restraining order to keep these two fucking shows apart and people on their own goddamn shows because I'm fucking sick of it.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you besides get used to it because it's not.
Speaking of fucking sick of it, now that you got me on a fucking rant, what happened to SmackDown's draft picks? The draft picks that they supposedly got for the fucking trade.
I told you they didn't have the cap space.
You came up with some bullshit about they don't have cap space.
They don't have the cap space, mate.
SmackDown traded superstars to Raw, and we were told that SmackDown was going to get future trades future draft picks for those trades.
They still can.
They still can. We got time.
Will it be paid off? Probably not.
There's still a whole nother night of the draft.
I want to know where they are. I need to be told where my fucking draft picks are.
Oh,
because you're still drafting three people. Yes, they're my draft picks now. You're still drafting 3 people to Raw and 2 to SmackDown every round. So where are all those extra draft picks for SmackDown? Am I going to get them on Talking Smack? Is Talking Smack going to be SmackDown draft only? Then I'm fine and I'll shut the fuck up. But until then, I need my goddamn continuity. Don't fucking lie to me while you're just throwing people around all willy-nilly. Yeah, I said willy-nilly. Fuck you.
I'm okay with it, man. It felt right.
Anyway, our main event was a match that I really should have enjoyed. And it's just like Monday Night Raw. This was awesome, and if I could get past my own hangups, it would have been fantastic. It's The Fiend versus KO. This is the exact way I want to see The Fiend used. He looked dominant. He, no sold a stunner, took Kevin Owens down. Even that pop-up powerbomb spot was a little botched.
Yeah.
That was a little rough. The Fiend gets the win here. Lights go out. He shows up on the rampway with Alexa Bliss. They're looking at each other. We'll see where they end up. They're all bathed in red. Could be a foreshadow of the fact that they're going to Monday Night Raw.
It makes sense for him to be on Raw ever since they started doing the red light. I always hated that.
Yeah, Fiend beat KO.
That's cool. Hopefully this leads to a heel turn for Kevin Owens. Maybe he goes to NXT or he goes over to SmackDown, or maybe this goes into a feud with The Fiend. Now they'll both be on Raw. Regardless, I hope this leads for something good for Kevin Owens. He's kind of been spinning his wheels since WrestleMania.
Yeah, true. Then, at the end of the show, they fucked up and announced next week on SmackDown, Braun Strowman, who has not been drafted yet, versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. How do you set up a title match for someone who's not going to get drafted till Monday Night Raw? Because we don't know if he's going to Raw. We don't know. I'm going to use air quotes now. We don't know if he's going to Raw or SmackDown. Braun Strowman has not been drafted. How do you put him in a fucking title match before the goddamn draft is over?
Dude, they do this.
You put the New Day in a title match before the draft was over?
Yeah.
Okay, they put him in a match on SmackDown before the draft finished for after the draft is over. We don't know if he's going to be a Raw superstar before he has that match on SmackDown, Travis. This wasn't he won the title and then gets drafted to another show. Okay, he's competing next week after the draft is over. Different story.
Before, though.
Matt,
you just
no, this is stupid.
You're gonna get yourself all worked up here. You're gonna burst a blood vessel. It's okay.
Goddamn right.
Matt, look, I'm gonna say this. You're right. You're 100% right. But they do this every year. I know exactly where they're going. Braun's gonna go over to Raw just in case they bring back Raw Underground, which I doubt they will. But he's gonna go over to Raw because why stay on SmackDown? I think he'd be irrelevant. And then the whole theme throughout the night will be like, will the Universal title go over to Raw? If Braun Strowman wins, he's going to take the Universal title to, quote-unquote, build suspense, even though we know the results.
And I am going to be on Twitter bitching the entire time because of their goddamn loopholes in continuity.
Thanks for warning me.
If you're going to do something, say something. Fucking do what you say.
That's fine. Now I know I got to mute you during SmackDown next week.
Yeah, go ahead. Mute me during SmackDown next week. Well, only if Braun Strowman gets drafted. I recommend everyone mute me if Braun Strowman gets drafted to Raw and competes for the fucking Universal title on SmackDown. Mute me Friday next week.
Actually, I'm gonna have tweet notifications for you. I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
Are we spitting or swallowing SmackDown tonight with the draft?
I still got great Uso and Roman Reigns shit. I've got great Fiend shit. I'm gonna swallow it.
It was still good stuff. Like it was Raw. You know,
as pissed as I am,
I'm very interested.
It's so good that I'll still give the show a pass.
And Biggie Sheamus tore it up in that false count. I mentioned. Yeah, I am swallowing as well, but I'm very interested in the dynamic of them moving spouses to separate shows and where people are going to end up, and them possibly splitting up other tag teams besides the New Day with the Otis and Jey Uso move. So that has me intrigued because I don't really know what they're going to do this year. So yeah, I'm swallowing as well.
Yeah.
Vince, AEW, NXT, Raw.
I'd say let's get rid of AEW, then go to NXT and finish up strong with Raw.
Yeah, because unlike over the Smack Raw podcast, we're not a bunch of AEW marks now. They got rid of their one WWE guy in Vince. They've even turned RN full Britt Baker. He's like a full AEW mark now. Like
really? Well, also too, like they just kind of like decided they just completely buried NXT. They're not even trying to like do NXT anymore.
Well, no, that to be fair, that's not true. They're doing a super show on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but every single time the thumbnail is 2/3 of AEW compared to the one NXT thing. It's only like one guy watching NXT and Arn, and if Arn doesn't watch the show, they don't talk NXT.
Well, that's Kyle.
How do you really feel about NXT?
You know Kyle's an AEW mark. It is what it is.
They're all marks.
We kick it off. It's Jericho Appreciation Night in our opening segment, where we've got wrestlers talking about why they love Chris Jericho, growing up watching Chris Jericho. A lot of inner circle. All throughout the night, we had Chris Jericho packages from celebrities and retired wrestlers and things like that talking about Chris. What?
Nobody died. It's okay. No, I was just surprised. I didn't realize Jimmy Butler played 47 minutes.
Oh, okay. Bro, not important.
Nothing you're saying right now is important either.
I had to wear the Miami Heat jersey for that same reason.
Yeah.
It's a Dwayne Wade jersey, though.
Jimmy Buckets.
How'd you feel about Willie Hobbs, Travis? This is probably the first time you've seen him wrestle. He wrestled Brian Cage for the FCW title.
Oh, we're still talking about AEW?
Yeah.
You said, the Hobbs dude. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I wasn't impressed, but I didn't dislike it. The whole FTW belt thing is still like, why? But, whatever.
After the match, Taz was impressed. He gives Hobbs the choice to join them or get beat up. Before Hobbs answers, Darby Allin comes down, chases off Cage and Starks, and Team Taz leaves, and Taz gives Darby Allin a stern warning that his time is coming.
My thing is, in all these situations, I'm I'm a practical person. And in situations like that, I'm like, yeah, I'll join you. Like, it seems like the logical choice here. Like, it's just, I don't like getting my ass kicked. Like, I'm not afraid of it, but I'm not going to invite that on myself for no reason. Like, what do I get out of it? Like, the FTW belt? Like, it's not even real. So it's just, yeah, I'll join you. Whatever. I get a manager. I get some backup. Yeah, cool.
We also had a really good hype package for Lance Archer where he got to cut a promo, and we saw that he can cut a very good promo, building up for his match against Jon Moxley when it finally happens. Then FTR did their 20-minute challenge against the just get rid. If you're not going to go by rankings and you're not going to use your fucking rankings, then get rid of your goddamn rankings. Because only on occasion do you say this person's ranked this or that person's ranked that, but you're not using them for stories. So just get rid of them. What's up, Travis?
I feel like I've asked this before, but I don't remember the answer. What does FTR stand for?
There was never a concrete definition of it, but it started off as "fuck the revival." Then the revival changed it to "forever the revival," and then that's where it started. It started as,
and then it was revival. Free the revival when people wanted them to get released from their WWE contracts.
So it started off as like a bit on being the Elite from the Young Bucks saying "fuck the revival." Oh, actually, no. Cody Rhodes started the thing. It's like "fuck the revival." That's where it started.
Okay.
Speaking of the Bucks, they're backstage watching this match, talking about how good FTR is. Then they notice the cameraman and they super kick him. We go back to the ring, and FTR's in there. They're confronted by the Best Friends, who say that they are the number one contenders, and Tony Khan is letting them finally get their match next week. They also made really cool FTR weenie shirts where it's the FTR and hot dog costumes wearing the AEW tag team titles. And
fuck Chuck.
Trent has gone and said, do not buy these shirts, which obviously just makes me want to go buy one of those shirts. Yeah, so we're going to get that title shot next week. Then we've got what should have been the main event. Cody versus Brody for the TNT title in a dog collar match. How is this not the main event?
Because
there was blood.
Because it wasn't Cody Rhodes' 30th anniversary.
There's blood. There's violence. Cody somehow won this match, which also blew my mind that they already took the title off Brody and put it back on Cody.
Well, I feel like didn't Cody have like some sort of injury?
No, he took time off to go shoot that TV show that he's hosting.
Oh, well, that's why he dropped the title, not because they were actually going to do something with Brody Lee. It's just because, we got to get the title off of Cody. He's going to go shoot something. He'll get the title when he gets back. They've done that. They did that with, I think it was like AJ Lee. She took like some time off. She dropped the title to Paige, and then literally on her first night back won the title. So it's nothing new. I shit on AEW a lot, but I will say I knew Cody was getting that title back.
As dominant as Brody Lee was in their first match where he just destroyed Cody Rhodes, I did not see him losing this dog collar match on TNT.
It's Cody fucking Rhodes.
Yeah, he
was gonna fucking win.
Yeah, came back. He came back changed. He's a different guy.
Oh yeah, he came back with the black hair.
Yeah, and the suit.
Yeah, looking like he came straight out of Twilight.
Yeah.
That's fine.
As I was also wondering, so they said Brody Lee's head got cut open on that spot through the table, even though his head didn't hit the table. So did he blade? Is that what happened?
Probably. They do a lot of blading. He probably bladed.
Yeah, because on that pile driver through the table, his head never touched the table. So yeah. Like he cut his head. Like no, he did not.
Cody blades every chance he gets. I wouldn't be surprised if Brody bladed too.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I will say, Matt. Like, look, I've seen so many wrestlers fuck that shit up, and it's like it's 2020 now. Like, we don't need to see guys blading. Like,
oh no, I disagree 100%.
No, I'd rather not. See
it's what's missing. There are possibilities where bad things can happen. We know about what happened with Lita and Ric Flair, where Ric Flair bladed for Lita and nicked a vein or some shit, and she was like bleeding out all over the place.
Popped a blood vessel trying to like.
We know what happened to Eddie against fucking JBL in that fucking bloodbath of a match. Like,
yeah,
we know bad things can happen, but This is something that you don't get in wrestling, especially in WWE very often, that sets AEW aside that I enjoy is that ultra violent on occasion aspect. And it's not all of the wrestlers doing it. If it was everyone doing it, I could, then there's an issue, but it's really just Cody or his opponents. It doesn't work as well without the blonde hair now that he dyed it black, but I don't mind it. I'm actually kind of glad they did it. I'm surprised they did it on TNT to the extent that they did.
Right.
But I'm good with it.
Well, my thing is, I don't mind blood. Like, if you end up bleeding in the match, then cool. I just don't like, I don't know. The bleeding thing just doesn't really do it for me. I'm just like,
Nope.
It doesn't feel right when I see it. Because like this, when they said, like, he busted his head and put him through the table. Like, no, he didn't. His head didn't touch the table. He just cut himself. Like,
my thing is, I'd rather have them do it to themselves than have like a Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton situation where he's busted the hard way.
Well, to be fair, I feel like that's more safer. I feel like I'd be
getting beat until you actually bleed is more safer than
that's called concussions. We don't want that.
Yeah, like the hard way is way worse than giving yourself a little cut on the forehead and letting it bleed out. That's what I'm saying.
Brock's a professional, man. I'm pretty sure he barely touched Randy Orton. I feel like he treated him like a baby and just.
Yeah, sure he did.
We got Kenny backstage taking shots at Hangman Page because he's a piece of shit. Talking about how he's going to win the tournament. Doesn't matter who he faces, whether it's Hangman Page or a tag team wrestler like Hangman Page, or just repeatedly talking about how he could beat Hangman Page in this tournament to determine the number one contender. It's probably where it's going to end up. I'd actually be surprised if that wasn't the finals, Hangman versus Kenny.
First round.
They could do it first round because that's how everyone probably thinks it's going to be the finals. They might knock it out early.
Mm-hmm. So I would do. I'm like, you know what? Nope. Right off the bat. Boom.
Why not?
And then
after Gargano and Ciampa in the Cruiserweight Classic first round. It was good.
And the thing is, you do that match in the first round, and then whoever loses costs the winner in the finals.
Yeah. Look, Travis got his Booker hat on.
Then we had Big Swole defeating one of your stablemates from the Straight Edge Society, Serena Deeb.
That was her?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Serena Deeb, man. I'm glad she's out there, like, still wrestling. I was kind of hoping she'd go back into wrestling when she signed with WWE, but
I was happy to see Big Swole in the match. It's been forever since I saw Big Swole.
And it was good because Serena's one of those talents that they can put a Big Swole in against, or someone in against where they're going to make that talent look really good in the match. And this was, again, on a trend of better women's matches from AEW because they're doing things like this. You bring in a Thunder Rosa, you bring in a Serena Deeb, and they're making these women look better. Even fucking Britt Baker looked pretty good against Red Velvet. You know how I feel about Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm. Arian is trash.
Then we got a Moxley video package about why Lance is dangerous and how he's not going to give up. He's sitting in a bar and all this stuff. Seems to kind of doubt it, that he might come out. He's really building up his opponent in this package, but also saying you're going to have to take that title out of my cold, dead hands. I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to surrender. And then we got our main event, Jericho and Hager versus Serpentico and Luther, because this is the best thing we could come up with for a main event match on Chris Jericho's 30th anniversary.
Either one of you watched the show on Netflix, The Norseman?
No.
Damn. Because the dude from that tag team, the bald one, looks just like one of the characters on Norseman. He's a bald dude. He's very creepy looking. And damn, I hate that neither one of you watched the show. Oh, well, go ahead.
Jericho and Hager get the win here. Then we have a celebration, which is interrupted by MJF. He brings out a clown and a photo and basically rips off The Rock and Mick Foley in one segment. He's got the clown for Jericho that he calls Clownico, basically making fun of Jericho. And he does the Nation of Domination Rock thing where he gives Jericho a present, and it's a giant picture of MJF. Jericho then takes that picture, smashes it over the clown's head, and hits him with a Judas effect, knocking him out. There's a tense moment, and then they both smile and laugh. And MJ's like, "Oh, you almost got me." And Jericho's like, "I almost had you." MJF says he's going to make a career-altering announcement next week. I really wanted to like this because it's MJF, but the whole thing just didn't do it for me.
Can I just be honest? MJF doesn't do it for me. He just doesn't.
Most of the time, he does for me.
Most of the time, he does for me too. But at this point, I'd fallen asleep.
It's like I like. He doesn't do anything bad. It's just like for whatever reason, his work just doesn't resonate with me, and it just like he's good. Like he does great stuff, but it's just like I don't really care. Like I see MJF, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go get some snacks.
That guy.
Okay, I could kind of see that.
Twitter, Vince.
I can kind of see that. AEW, spit or swallow?
Spit.
I can't spit because I didn't watch it. I just saw highlights, so Gargo undecidedly.
And I'm spitting.
I see it.
I kind of want to swallow just for that dog collar match because I really enjoyed that dog collar match. Even though I was surprised that Cody won, I enjoyed that. And we didn't talk about how Cody said he was going to defend the title next week on the anniversary show, and Orange Cassidy came out and gave the little
thumbs up,
and Cody gave him the thumbs up. So next week for the TNT title, we're getting Orange Cassidy versus Cody.
That should be good. Should be good.
Yeah, I'm going to swallow.
So I'll watch next week because we're getting that match.
Just based on the fact that I enjoyed the Willie Hobbs Cage match. That was a big man dominant match, and I enjoyed the dog collar match. So I'm gonna swallow this week. Oh, and Swole. NXT or Raw, Vince?
NXT.
We kick it off with what should have been a banger of a fucking match, and it was in Ciampa and Kushida, and then the Velveteen Dream ruins everything.
Oh, you mean Patrick?
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's only right. NXT ruined the Velveteen Dream, so why would he not ruin NXT in return?
I don't think NXT ruined Velveteen. I think Patrick ruined Velveteen. Allegedly. That's what happened.
We're not going to get into the legalities and the loopholes of that situation.
Allegedly.
We're just going to say that according to the laws of the state that he is in, he is innocent. Whether we agree with it or not.
Not innocent, just not guilty.
Correct. There you go. Not guilty.
We established early on the show that our legal system is completely trash.
Again, not that we agree with it. Just the fact.
I didn't say we did. I'm just pointing out the fact, like circling back to what we were saying to start the show.
Kushida runs Velveteen Dream off. So I had a exchange during Takeover with Kenny from A Kenny for Your Thought, where there was something I wanted to tweet out and I didn't tweet out, and I told him and I gave him permission to tweet it out. But basically, actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up the exact DM so I can read it word for word because he really enjoyed my delivery of this.
Somebody enjoys you.
Fuck you.
Well, I would assume his wife would.
It's appropriate that Dream is dressed as Doc Brown because both like spending time with teenage boys.
You tweeted that? Wait,
no, I didn't. I didn't tweet that. I was going to tweet it. I didn't. I told Kenny I had a joke about Doc Brown, but I didn't want to drag Doc Brown's name through the mud on Twitter. So I told Kenny, and then Kenny took it and made his own version of that tweet.
Because Kyle hopped into the group chat and made that same joke to try to pop the group chat, but we no-sold it. That's why I'm like, wait, did he just like run into that tweet and try to see if he could pop us? And
probably. Then I did see someone else tweet something similar to that later, but it was like way later in the night when he tweeted it from when I sent that to Kenny. But yeah, no, it was very appropriate that Velveteen Dream was dressed up as Doc Brown because both men like to spend time with little teenage boys.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Then we got a promo for Member.
Allegedly.
No, we did get a promo for Member.
No, I'm talking about your previous comment.
No, we moved on past that. Now we're on the Ember promo.
No, we got to say allegedly.
Ember got new music. I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is.
The music's not bad.
It's not bad. It's still like, at least this one is still along the same lines, like in the same kind of theme as her other music, as opposed to what they did to Keith Lee's music when they just did something completely different.
Keith Lee, they ruined.
It just didn't fit him at all.
Alistair's makes sense, character change. Like
No. Due to the lyrics of Aleister Black's theme song, there was no need to ever change his theme music.
No, there was no need. But is the theme song bad? No, like
no,
I
it's not bad, but it's
like
not as good.
It's not as good. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that at least with Ember and Alistair, their themes aren't bad.
Yeah.
They've done that in the past. Look, I'm an Angel Garza fan. They've changed that man's theme song like 3 or 4 times, and the final time is the worst version of it. They found like a perfect in between, and they changed it for whatever reason.
This isn't like when they added rap to Shinsuke, so people would stop singing along with Shinsuke's music because he was.
But that version was
a heel. This isn't like when they let Disturbed do Austin's music, because I really enjoyed that, and that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Or like the tweaks they did to the Rock's music as years went on,
Yeah.
Hollywood.
This is not the
rock
same
version
thing.
Is the best.
You said what?
Hollywood rock version is the best.
Oh, I love that one. I love that thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's cooking.
I didn't love Ember's promo here, but Ember's never been a promo person. I'm wondering if they're trying to give her some time. This is one of those promos where, she's back on NXT, and I should have felt the emotion and believed what she was saying. And this one felt like she was reading off a script. Yeah. I didn't believe her in what she was saying.
The way I feel about that, though, is that's what NXT is. These are the people, supposed to be the people that aren't really ready for the main show. So they can't get better if they don't do it. So I said the same thing about Mia Yim when they wouldn't let her talk. I'm like, let her talk. So she's.
But I feel like Mia can talk. She just needs to be allowed to talk in her own kind of way.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is Mia can talk. Mia can't talk the words given to her.
Yeah, and
Ember can probably talk, just not the words given to her. Same thing. Sasha cuts fire promos when they let Sasha do her thing, but when Sasha's got to act out a script and she does the bank or the boss character, it doesn't come off as well as when she's just speaking from her heart.
Yeah. Well,
it's almost like promos work better when they're not scripted.
Look at Roman. They try to stuff so many scripted promos for the guy, and then now they let him do his own thing, and he's really good. He can cut his own stuff. Like the thing with Ember, and I've always had this issue with Ember, is either make her the relatable babyface that everybody wants to root for, just like a Sami Zayn in NXT or a Johnny Gargano, or just feed into the whole Mystique portion of her character. You can't have an in between, because sometimes she tries to be menacing or cool, and then does this awkward grin thing that she does, and it's you feel very awkward on the mic, dude. It's pick a lane and stick to it, and that's something I've always talked about with Ember. Either lean into the Mystique part or lean into the relatable person.
No, you lean into the Mystique part, because when they tried to lean into the relatable person, we got that terrible story with her and Mandy and Sonya where she was a nerd reading books backstage and got picked on.
Yeah,
for reading books, and that was
but they don't.
That was about the end of Ember Moon.
Yeah, and they don't.
So lean into the Mystique. Lean into the Mystique.
I like Mystique.
Io comes out, but before she can talk, Rhea shows up, and right as Rhea starts talking,
Lawrence Mystique though, comic book Mystique.
Giant Gonzalez and Dakota Kai attack Rhea on the rampway. Ember comes down to help out Rhea. There's a brawl, and then our boy, the GM, who was busy as hell tonight because he made the Kushida match because of a brawl that broke out before the show, makes another match for tonight: Rhea and Ember versus Giant Gonzalez and Queen Kai.
Yeah.
It's good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. Made sense.
Then we've got the out. Did you see Drake Maverick outside, Travis?
Nope.
Did you see Drake Maverick at all?
Nope.
You're gonna be glad you missed that. Did you see any of the stuff with the Garganos?
Negative.
And their new TV?
That was great stuff right there.
I know you didn't see Tony Storm because you were surprised by that.
Yeah. They didn't give me that thickness.
Did you see the Undisputed Era backstage?
Did I? No, I don't think so.
Did you see Austin Theory versus Leon Ruff?
Yes.
Okay, so Austin Theory defeats Leon Ruff, who is now officially signed to a Performance Center contract. Then brags about being the future and how no one can stop him.
So
out comes my boy.
This is going to be some real inside baseball for just the two of us right now.
Okay.
Does Leon Ruff not remind you of Larry Whittleson?
A little bit. I could see that.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you Larry Whittleson tried to sell me weed in high school?
I think so. It doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah. And we didn't know about smoking weed. We were like freshmen and we thought we knew, and it was me and Brandon. And then like rolled a bunch of little pinners out of the nickel bag.
Hold on. I lost you for a second. You said it was you and Brandon. What?
It was me and Brandon. It was like our freshman year of high school. He bought a nickel bag off Larry and then rolled like 2 or 3 joints out of the nickel bag because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing and lied to me and told me he did. And then we tried to smoke that shit in his garage. Did not get high.
Yo, you didn't tell me all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw Rub, I'm like, oh, that's Larry.
Austin Theory's then bragging about how he's the future. No one can stop him. Dexter Lumis comes out. Then we get Lumis versus Theory. And I'm actually surprised here because I know that the Leon Ruff Theory match wasn't very long, but I expected Dexter, who was fresh, to dominate the majority of this match.
Yeah.
He did get the win, which was good. But this match was a lot longer than I thought it would be for someone who just competed in a match. And Theory had a lot of offense here, even though he just competed in a match. But then again, he did say that he was warmed up before Leon Ruff, and he was even more warmed up for Lumis, and he's better when he's warmed up. So,
yeah.
Then Cameron Grimes comes out of nowhere and hits Lumis with a cave-in because Cameron Grimes was pissed that when he asked Dexter Lumis last week where William Regal was, he didn't answer his question.
Isn't that like a Karen thing to do? Like, that's like the most Karen thing to do. Like, he really did his best Karen impression there.
He really did.
Yeah.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm entitled to have my answer question answered. God damn it. Yeah.
Words are hard. I know.
Yeah, words are hard. Man.
Words are hard,
especially when you speak 2 languages. Sometimes they all get mixed up.
It all gets mixed up. Yeah, I get it.
Did you see Ridge Holland versus Danny Burch?
Yes.
Dude, Ridge Holland's leg. So Holland defeats Burch, and then after the match, Burch gets up and slaps Holland, and they brawl, and he takes out Burch, and then Oney Lorcan comes out and checks on Burch, and then they're brawling, and Oney goes over the top rope once and gets caught. Then they go to do it a second time, and I actually looked at the GIF because I didn't see it on TV. When I looked at the GIF and I showed it to Kate, you clearly see when he catches Burch on that second one, his whole left leg just shifted to the left and was not laying right. My understanding is he dislocated his ankle and tore quite a few things in his knee and calf. His leg is fucked.
So I didn't see it. Like, I couldn't see it clearly, but I heard about everything that happened. So like, was it full on like Sid Vicious kind of break, or was it?
So it wasn't broken like that. It was more like if your leg's supposed to be like this, his whole leg was like this.
Oh.
So one leg looked normal and the other one was like completely sideways. And Kate watches all the Dr. Pole and Dr. Pimple. Like, nothing bothers her. She watched that and even she was like, oh, no.
Yeah. Reminds me when Paul George broke his leg. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. I watched that live and I did too. Replay.
That was so nasty. I never saw it again. I'm like, no, I saw like videos of it. I'm like, no, I'm not looking at that again.
So this is a bummer because we have Karrion Kross winning the NXT title and going out on injury after beating Keith Lee. We have Finn Balor winning the NXT title and then suffering a broken jaw in his first title defense. We have now Ridge Holland, who was in a major story involved with the Undisputed Era. When we get back from commercial, they've got an air cast on him and they're taking him out and he's giving the thumbs up, but he has to go in for surgery. And then Tegan Knox also tearing her weak ass paper knees again.
Yo, man, Tegan Knox is the Derrick Rose of pro wrestling. I love them both, but
so here's the thing. I was gonna originally dub this the Limitless Curse because after they did Keith Lee so dirty in that title match and then the way they did him on Raw, their next 2 champions went down. But when you add in a Ridge Holland and you add in a Tegan Knox, this is the Full Sail curse because they took NXT away from Full Sail and now their roster is just dropping like flies with injuries.
Karrion Kross and Tegan both happened before they left Full Sail.
No, they both happened in the PC.
They were doing it in the Performance Center at that time.
No, they were still in Full Sail, no?
No, because the Performance Center. They weren't doing anything at Full Sail. Full Sail was shut down.
Everything's been in the PC. They just redubbed the PC the whatever center, the
No, I
Capitol
know,
Wrestling Center.
But the Capitol Wrestling Center just recently
that just
debuted
happened,
it.
but they were doing everything in the Performance Center.
No,
were they?
The Capitol Wrestling Center is the PC. They just renamed the PC and redid the setup.
I know, but it debuted at Takeover, so that's why I'm trying to figure out. It's like, have they still been doing all the shows in the PC? And
yes,
everything was in the PC.
Okay,
the pandemic.
So I was under the impression that Full Sail was still.
No, they weren't using anything except the Performance Center because they could control that. So they were like, they did everything.
Because
they were in Full Sail for a minute there. While SmackDown and Raw were on the Performance Center, NXT was still in Full Sail. So when Full Sail shut down, like they were still using Full Sail. They were not on the Performance Center with Raw and SmackDown.
Not that I know of.
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure they moved everything to the Performance Center at the same time.
No, NXT was still doing Full Sail.
We're gonna fact check that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is disappointing. Like I said, it's the Full Sail curse. They stopped using Full Sail. Now their roster's dropping like flies. Travis, did you see Shotzi Blackheart versus Xia Li?
Negative.
God damn it. I thought she was going to be a permanent fixture on Hulu. Fuck you, Hulu. I'm so stoked for that Halloween Havoc episode with her hosting. Like, this is to a T my shit.
She pimped out that tank. She pimped out that tank. Dude, she did pimp out.
We're going to get to that. You did see the main event tag team match, Rhea and Ember versus Dakota and Giant Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Ember Moon has no ring rust. She has been rearing and ready to go. She went out there and she was full Ember.
That eclipse at the end, that's one of the best eclipses I've seen her hit. It's not the best, but it's top 5 for sure. It was so smooth, and the way she went into it, it was almost kind of like you're doing a suicide dive over the top rope and go into it. It was so smooth and seamless.
No.
Beautiful.
In-ring Ember is back. Now we just need to figure out character Ember.
Yes. She should come out with a motorcycle. Have the helmet. Have her struggle with the helmet before her match every single time. That's her gimmick now.
She does have that whole Mad Max feel to her new look. So
yeah, I don't know if I feel it though.
Like I said, we need some character development. I need to know like what all this is about, and I need her to be able to do some mic work. I mean, in NXT, you don't really need to. Your in-ring work kind of sells it for you. You don't need the mic work, but it wouldn't hurt to get her some. I just
don't want it to border on the side of goofy to ridiculous because it's too gimmicky, you know?
So not good enough for Hulu. NXT edition. We've got Drake Maverick arriving at the arena. Yes, Travis.
Before you finish, we have to acknowledge this. Vince was right. They've been doing it all at Full Sail.
Really?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep. It's been
facts are being checked when I show up on the show.
Yeah. I looked it up.
When did they stop using Full Sail?
Capitol Wrestling Center.
At Takeover 31.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, I apologize.
As the NXT guy.
Well, I'm not apologizing. I'm just telling him he's right.
Oh, no, I was never expecting an apology from Travis. I was just expecting him to confirm and back me up. It was like, oh, he was right. I'm not apologizing, but he was right. That's all I want.
Not good enough for Hulu NXT edition. Drake Maverick arrives at the arena to let us know that he has talked to William Regal and he and Killian Dane are going to have a tag team match. He has been contacting Killian about theme music and tag team moves. Killian shows up and says, what the hell are you talking about? What's going on? Killian is not happy that they're going to be a tag team. He has not read or responded to any of the messages. Then Drake's like, well, if you would send me your phone number, he goes, there's a reason you don't have my phone number. We're doing the whole odd couple thing here where, you know, they're together, but they're not. This ends up leading to that tag team match. Dane and Maverick defeat Everrise because fuck Everrise. But at the end of the match, even though theme music was terrible, as Drake Maverick is celebrating, Killian Dane does the KO punch, knocks him on his ass, and then instead of leaving, goes back and collects Drake Maverick and carries him away. And you can see that Drake Maverick is slowly just drilling his charm into Killian Dane.
Oh, yeah. This is what I've been doing with Travis these last couple of months. He is the Killian Dane to my Drake Maverick. He doesn't want to admit it, but he loves me deep down inside. You see, Dawson's son he never wanted, but he's grown to love.
You know, you did introductions for the SmackDown Pod Takeover post show, and you were referring to how RN was your, you know, you listed off a bunch of things, and there were a couple interesting ones in there as to like the person you took. Like, I think you took Tyler Breeze to defeat Fandango, as if Tyler Breeze was the main part of that tag team, and I fully disagree with that. 100%.
That's backwards, dude. Like, anything that Tyler Breeze is involved in, he's second.
No, but see, that was my intent. I was trying to like put over Orton as like the
Why would you want to do that?
But in all the other ones,
and I'm at the door. I'm on my way out. You know, I'm exiting the door. But when you leave on your way out, as per wrestling customs, you put the other guy over.
You called him the Triple H cheer Shawn Michaels, so clearly you weren't doing that.
Well, it's just because Triple H is his favorite wrestler of all time, so I want to give him that.
Yeah. I think you said he was the own to your bread or something like that. Anyway, neither here nor there.
No, I don't think I mentioned the Hart family at all. Like,
Listen,
I never have them in my thought process.
And now you got muted. So then, Travis, we have the Tony vignette. She is you need to go watch this. She's on a beach, she's running, and I didn't think it was possible, but I'm pretty sure she got thicker. So she's running on the beach, she's tearing it up on the beach. She says that this was all a plan. She was taking some time off. It was part of a plan, and she's coming back better and stronger than ever. Basically, she's rebuilt herself. And
I don't know why it never occurred to me to do that before.
So for those of you listening to the podcast and not watching, not only did Travis mute Vince, but he shut off his video feed. So I'm assuming Vince can hear this.
Oh man. I don't know why it never occurred to me to do that before. Like
I don't either. We got the Undisputed Era backstage basically calling out Ridge Holland, which obviously doesn't age well when Ridge Holland blows out his knee. Then we got the Garganos. So they're out on a walk. They're in the Gargano blue and pink matching jumpsuits, walking the dog, talking about how they need a new plan. When they get home, there's a 65-inch flat screen waiting for them. It is from Indy Hartwell. In record time, they unpackage it, mount it on the wall. There's a USB drive with it. They watch the USB drive, and it's Indy showing all the times she saved Candice in the Battle Royal, and Johnny thinks there might be something here with Candice and Indy. So maybe we're getting a Candice Indy tag team match where they will challenge for the tag team titles at some point.
I would like to hope they create their like Edge and Vicky Guerrero version of La Familia, like the Gargano family, and starts like getting people on their side. So you start with Indy Hartwell. You add another person here or there to kind of be like the muscle to Johnny Gargano, and that's how you get the title on both of them.
Okay.
Factions work.
And then Shotzi Blackheart in her newly decked out tank with the bones of Robert Stone decorating it, defeats Xia Li. Xia Li taking another L here. Then she is propositioned by, so Vince, is it Bo or is it Boa?
Boa.
It's Boa.
Yeah, Boa.
It looks like Boa, but there was some debate as to how to pronounce it. So if I'm not mistaken, he is also a Chinese superstar.
Yes.
Signed to NXT. He has competed on TV before, then went out with a shoulder injury. Like he had one or two matches.
He was in the breakout tournament along with Garza and Swerve.
Yes. So he has competed. I thought he had competed. Yeah, so he propositioned her. She took the scroll note thing that he gave her, read it, and walked off with him. Very upset that she's losing matches, but this may be like the Zelina Vega Andrade sort of angle that they go with, or Robert Stone, Chelsea Green, maybe.
Oh, no, don't compare it to that. That was a fail. That was a flop. Andrade and Selena in NXT were gold, and I'm really a big fan of Xia Li. I think she could be a really big name in that women's division, and like you just got to go ahead and do something with it.
Yeah. NXT, spit or swallow?
Yeah, swallow. The only thing that would make me want to gargle undecidedly was that whole Killian Dane Drake Maverick segment, but I've made a connection between me and Travis, so now I love it. So
it was
swallow.
Charming.
It was charming, just like the relationship between me and Travis.
Spitting.
Why are you spitting, Travis?
Because fuck Vince.
Okay. I'm gonna swallow as well.
But also,
again.
no, but for real, I was gonna spit it anyway, like no bullshit. Because honestly, if I'm looking at it, the only thing they really gave me during this thing that I really gave a shit about was the return of Ember Moon. So,
no, Tony Storm.
I didn't.
He didn't get to see it though.
That's on you.
No, it's on Hulu.
Okay, we'll blame Hulu, not NXT.
Not my fault.
I'm gonna swallow
I'm
as
judging
well.
what I saw.
I got Shotzi. I got Shotzi getting a win. I got a new tank with the bones of Robert Stone. I got Ember tearing it up in a match, and I had a great Kushida Ciampa match before Velveteen Dream ruined it.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Monday Night Raw. So honestly, Monday Night Raw, I feel like was a really fun show that because of my own hangups, I could not enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like I'm watching it.
Sounds
I'm
about
like,
right for most wrestling shows, Matt.
No. I'm like, listen,
not like this though.
If there weren't brand issues, I probably would have really enjoyed the show. But because of all of the back and forth off-brand bullshit, I couldn't get past that to enjoy some of the fun shit that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
We kick it off with Randy Orton basically telling us a lullaby or a story, a bedtime story about how he took out the legends and he broke Big Show's hands and all this stuff. And then he challenges Drew to a Hell in a Cell match. While this is going on, Drew shows up in his locker room, which we never see. And I was I'm like, okay, this is cool. Drew's watching it, sees it, and in real time goes and finds Randy and beats the shit out of him while they're doing this segment.
Drew is the most smart, WWE champion we've had in a minute. Like, that's common sense. Like, if I see someone talking shit on my TV, I'm going to go find them and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, D-Rod, you hear that? D-Rod?
D-Rod's not paying attention. He's streaming naked on his Twitch or something.
Well, this is going to come out tomorrow, so Alabama's probably playing, so it doesn't even matter. What was I going to say? But yeah, you see somebody on the TV talking shit. I mean, you've been in that building for a while now, so you know where everything is. You know where that is that he's talking shit. Oh, I see where he is. I'm going there. About to fuck him up.
Every Alabama football game be considered a family reunion?
I wouldn't know.
Then we had a 6-woman tag team match. It's Mandy and Dana and Asuka versus Lana and Natalya. No.
Nope.
Or I'm sorry, Lana and Nia. And
no. I'm saying no. I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it.
Yeah. You had Matt. I was like, wait, did I take my notes?
Yeah, I was like, no.
Like, you had him
Nia came at the end. Yeah. Anyway, did you see MVP talking to Ricochet backstage, offering him a spot in the Hurt Business for one night only?
Mm-hmm. He offered it to everybody.
Well, they focused in on Ricochet. Like he offered it, and then it just it panned in on Ricochet.
My thing is,
Ricochet will eventually join Hurt Business.
He keeps giving them chances. Like MVP keeps giving them chances, and they just always choose to get their asses whooped. Like,
Cedric smartened up. I don't know where the fuck he went. COVID maybe, but he's smartened up finally.
Yeah, probably.
He's at what they call it, the Hurt Business Academy or some shit.
Yeah. Probably. He's in business school.
They called it something. I forgot what MVP called it. He said they sent him to the Hurt Business Academy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart, man. Find something creative for why someone's not on TV.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the Murphy Seth stuff?
Yeah.
Cringe.
Do we care? Do we want to talk about it?
No, I like to pretend that it doesn't exist.
Okay.
There's nothing good about it. It didn't happen.
Murphy and Seth defeat Dominic and Humberto.
No, they didn't, because they didn't have a match. Keep going.
Braun Strowman, SmackDown contracted superstar, is here despite the fact that Raw Underground no longer exists, and he wants a fight. So Adam Pearce, de facto GM, says, I can't give you a fight because you're not a SmackDown superstar, and I cheer. And then he says, but I can give you an exhibition. And I'm like, fuck you, Adam Pearce. Fuck you. You were doing the right thing. You said no match. You're not on the brand. And then you gave a fucking match anyway.
And what's so weird about this, because they do this all the time, when they talk about a match being unsanctioned. Why is there a ref?
To count the 1, 2, 3.
There should be no 1, 2, 3 because
there should be no 1, 2, 3.
All unsanctioned matches should end in KO.
Because it should end when somebody can't keep going.
Yeah.
So last man standing match or an I quit match.
It just last man standing, I quit, whatever. It ends when it's over, and you see a fight happen, and you know when that fight's over.
True.
So, like, that's what it should have been. But every time they do, they're like, "Oh, it's an unsanctioned match," but they have a.
You know what they should do for unsanctioned matches? Kind of like do what they used to do back in like high school fights, and just have like everybody gathered around them, no ref, like not even like lumberjack where they're around the ring. No, inside the ring,
and they circle around them just to make sure
circle around them, like make an actual circle,
push them in when they try to
back push them in. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's how you do an unsanctioned.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So Keith Lee shows up and says, "I'll take him," which again. Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, and the match, if they were on the same brand, I would have enjoyed the shit out of this, despite the fact that Keith Lee can't seem to get a legitimate win or loss the entire time he's been on here.
He's going to tread water just like he did his first couple of years in the NXT, and then he's finally going to have a boom period.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden Vince is going to be like, "Oh, okay." Like, yeah, we tried to tell you 2 years ago, fool.
He's always late with everything.
Did you guys, or Travis, did you see the Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt stuff?
Yes.
So Kevin Owens comes out, calls out Bray Wyatt, again, SmackDown superstar who's going to be on Raw. We get a Firefly Funhouse episode. It's not the best Firefly Funhouse episode, but Bray sings us a song and Mercy kills Ramblin' Rabbit. So we brought that back. He basically tells Kevin Owens he has no idea what he got into with The Fiend. KO says, if you're not going to come out here, I'm going to go find you, because that's a thing now. Like, we can just go to the Firefly Funhouse. Seth did it. Braun did it. I think somebody else did it.
Adam Pearce went, but in order to like not piss off Bray, he had to wear the mailman costume. So I like the idea of it not being like some alternate universe or like some dimension you have to enter. I prefer it that Bray's just whacked out and like sick in the head, and he created his own little spot in every arena they go to, and it's a legit place, but he made it his own little like forts, and he's just so demented that he does. I feel like that's even more creepier to me. Like, he's so demented that he created his own little fort within the arena, and just so you don't get into such a problem with him or conflict, you have to go in and feed into his bullshit and his dementia or whatever. I think that's better.
Best part about this is, as Owens is storming up the rampway, he catches a black mass from Aleister Black, who has ditched the fucking eye patch. Thank God.
Thankfully, yes.
Don't boo that shit.
Boo.
Boo you. Boo you.
Bring back the eye patch.
Did you see McIntyre accept
I want Aleister Blackbeard the
match?
Pirate.
Did you see McIntyre accept the match?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see Braun versus Lee?
Yeah.
So it's a double count out. Then Braun does the freight train thing, knocks Lee through the barricade, goes to leave. Lee gets up. They go at it. Lee ends up throwing him into the LED board, and then Lee tackles Braun off the stage, and they both go through a table. It's just basically two big bulls going at it, neither one backing down.
Yeah, I love Keith Lee, but ever since he's been on Raw, I care about him a little bit less. And anytime Braun Strowman's on TV, I don't care.
Well, they're taking all the magic that is Keith Lee away. They're not letting him cut promos. He's not winning matches. He's not doing the things in NXT in his matches that he was doing that made us love him, and showing us how, for a guy his size, he's super athletic and can do these crazy things and put on these awesome matches. They took away literally everything special about Keith Lee, from his music to his personality
to his gear
to his
goatee. I've always said this: Keith Lee with goatee is a million times better than clean shaven Keith Lee.
Yeah, executive beard Keith Lee is way better
and more menacing.
Yeah. 24/7 title. Nope. Not on Hulu. What about the Hurt Business, Retribution? Yeah. Okay, so Hurt Business blames Retribution for their loss. MVP says, you might be scary, but my favorite part was he says, we fit the description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He threw that in there. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah, he said that shit.
Ricochet comes out, finds his inner gangster, says he passes on the offer. And then the Hurt Business defeat Apollo Crews and Ricochet.
Yeah, makes sense.
More Mysterio family bullshit. Did you see Nia and Shayna versus the Riot Squad for the tag team titles?
Yes.
Surprisingly, Ruby Riott just gets destroyed this entire match, and the Riott Squad loses. I really thought Shayna and Nia were going to be transitional champions. I really thought they were going to put the tag team titles on the Riott Squad after all of this build to put them back together and them to earn trust, and they didn't do it.
Not surprised.
Well, maybe they were doing that because where'd they get drafted to?
They haven't been drafted yet. Only Nia and Shayna have been drafted to Raw.
I'm talking about Nia and Shayna.
Yeah, to Raw. Okay. They're staying on Raw.
Okay. Well, then I don't know then. I was about to say maybe they wanted to be able to move them both to SmackDown first, but no, maybe not.
Then we have Ali versus MVP. Ali says he's going to take on all 3 members of Retribution. He's going to go through MVP, then Bobby Lashley, then Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, that's what I meant. So as the Hurt Business is about to beat down Ali, Retribution comes out to make the save. I don't know about you guys. Everyone seemed surprised when Ali turned around. As soon as he got out of the ring and went by Retribution, I knew what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what was happening as soon as they showed up because weren't we talking about him being like part of Retribution when they first showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who's surprised here? I don't understand.
A lot of people were surprised.
Well, a lot of people are stupid.
A lot of people can't connect the dots, man. Like, he was one of the people that was rumored to be part of the faction, and when he wasn't revealed, like, he would have been perfect. He fit the bill. He fits the description, the motivation for Retribution. A lot of people thought he was the hacker. People are comparing the hacker, like connecting the hacker to Retribution. Even WWE on Fox's Twitter or Instagram said, like, Ali has Ali with the Retribution hack all in caps with the exclamation point at the end.
Yeah.
So there might be something to it. And I feel like Ali in there just makes all the sense in the world. And now
it makes the faction make sense.
And now I care. I care.
Because before they're like, yeah, we were all like, we weren't given a chance. We were passed over, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, actually, no, that what happened is you just didn't make it because you're not good enough. So like, that's really what that looked like to me. And then you add Ali and they're like, oh, well, he is. He just didn't he just got passed over.
No, whether he's the official leader or not, because Bully Ray says Bully Ray doesn't think he's the leader, the end all be all.
Even though he was the one that told him go get him.
Yeah, exactly. Bully Ray thinks someone else higher, more important, is calling the shots, and he's
you know why? Because Bully sees like a small guy. He can't like see as believable as like a small guy leading the faction. He has the old school mentality.
So
that's
what that is. A higher power, if you will.
Yeah, basically what he was saying.
Commentary said he was leading the faction. He's in charge. WWE.com, WWE.com, WWE's Twitter, all their social media wasted no time in confirming that he is the leader. Everybody knows he's the leader.
Last match of the night, 6-man tag team match, Street Profits and Drew versus Dolph, Bobby, and Orton. Orton gets the win here, pinning Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not good enough for Hulu. Monday Night Raw edition. We had a 6-woman tag team match. Mandy gets the pin on Lana. And then, again, Shayna and Nia return. This is before their tag team match. This is the first time we've seen them since they didn't defend the titles at Clash of Champions. And they put Lana through another announce table. Poor Lana is paying her dues here, getting shoved through an announce table by Nia week after week after week.
They got to toughen her up, man.
You know what I've noticed too? You've taken the focus off of her, taking the mic out of her hands, and stop her being the annoying blonde. And I care more about Lana. I'm like, okay, in a reduced role, in her as the lesser of the 2 tag teammates with Natalya, I'm okay with that. That's a decent role for Lana. As long as you're not being highlighted or given too much mic time or too much TV time, I'm okay. Fade into the background, Lana. Fill your role.
Well, you
gotta be a role player. Every good team in all sports need those role players. That's what you have to be, Lana. Yeah. You're a role player.
The best thing about that team to me, though, is that it never makes Hulu.
Speaking of never making Hulu, 24/7 title. R-Truth gets the belt back. We got Drew Gulak here, who is a SmackDown contracted fucking superstar, competing on Raw for the 20.
That's a 24/7 title.
No. You said that last week. I don't accept it.
24/7, sir. 24/7. So
bullshit.
So it
I think it's only okay. I think it's only okay for a SmackDown superstar to compete for the 24/7 title if it's a pay-per-view where both brands are present.
Thank you.
So here's the thing.
Thank you.
Here's the thing, though. Wait. Let me ask this question. So what if it happened on like a Tuesday?
Where would be the setting?
Instagram, YouTube, whatever.
If it's not on Raw, it's okay.
It's okay.
Don't put SmackDown superstars on fucking
Monday.
Raw.
What if it happened before Raw?
No.
But it didn't happen on Raw.
If it happened at the arena, on Raw, not okay. If it happens at R-Truth's house, fine.
So if
not on the fucking show.
So if it happens away from the arena on Monday before the show starts, it's okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out where the line is here.
The line is don't put SmackDown superstars on fucking Raw, Travis.
But what if
I feel like the line is Monday.
What if they then show the footage on Raw?
No.
That's different. I think that's okay. Let's say it happens on Sunday and they show the footage on Monday, that's cool.
But
if Drew McIntyre,
on Raw all the time,
a SmackDown superstar, wins the 24/7 title, you put that on Friday. You don't put that on Monday because he's a SmackDown superstar and he's bringing the title to SmackDown.
They showed Roman Reigns beating the shit out of Jay and getting the win on Raw.
Yeah, stop promoting other brands on your show.
I've always hated that. Even back in like the early 2005 days where like they would have the Raw rebound on SmackDown. I don't give a fuck. I'm here for SmackDown. Don't tell me about
Somebody's
Raw.
with me. Thank you, Vince. All right. Are we spitting or that's not good enough for Hulu was those two things. We skipped over a lot of the fucking Mysterio shit.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
That was not good enough for Smacking at Raw. It was all the Mysterio shit. Spit or swallow Monday Night Raw.
I'm swallowing just because Ali, fellow Chicagoan, I love that man. He's the most wholesome person on Twitter that I've seen, or one of the most wholesome people on Twitter. I love that man. He's genuine. And to see him get an actual storyline and see where it goes, even if it's shit, maybe he turns chicken shit into chicken salad. I'm excited for Ali. I'm excited for Retribution. He made me care about Retribution. Just for that alone, I'm swallowing.
Okay, Travis.
Gotta show love to Chi-Town.
That was it was almost a full-blown spit before the Retribution stuff happened. Now with that I'm gargling. It's like yeah.
I know.
Yeah. It was a gargle for me until the Retribution stuff happened. It was a spit until the Retribution stuff happened. That brought it up to a gargle.
I'm spitting. Keep the goddamn superstars on their own goddamn shows.
Well, you're spitting for other reasons. That's you're just being you. But,
Best show of the week?
SmackDown.
Yeah, easy. I feel like SmackDown's been the best wrestling
for the last
show.
3 or 4 weeks here on our podcast. SmackDown's been the best show.
Roman Reigns, man.
Roman Reigns.
Roman fucking Reigns.
Roman Reigns came back, and I care. He's the only Sasha and Bailey are the only reasons I watch SmackDown, and they're worthwhile.
Right. So Travis said we're going to record a mock draft sometime next week. Vince will be in touch with you for
we're
that.
doing it on the show next week. I'm not doing an extra podcast. Fuck that.
Oh, okay. So Vince, be available next Friday because we're going to do a mock draft.
Well, that's going to be extra long, right? So are we going to do like the same recording session, just separate episodes, or will it be like one super long 3-hour show?
Oh, we'll just say fuck whatever happened that week.
We got to cover the draft on Monday Night Raw, Travis.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll do it the week after then.
Okay. Coming soon, Smackin' a Raw draft. We will let you know. Vince, you got anything you want to plug for your YouTube channel for Smackin' or the Smacked Raw podcast, anything like that?
Sure, why not? Give some love to the guys over at Smacked Raw. Go ahead and follow them on YouTube and subscribe, like their stuff, youtube.com. Love you, Travis. Don't ever change. Luckily, I was plugging their stuff. Yeah, youtube.com/SmackRaw podcast. Check out their link tree and support them on Patreon/SmackRaw podcast. Follow me on YouTube and on my link tree for my stuff. Me and Matt did a Pokemon gym leaders as wrestlers podcast. It was really, really fun.
And one day, eventually, Vince is going to make some polls for that podcast that we promised.
Yes, we will. I will get around to it. I will get to it. I feel how Travis feels as a producer. But yeah, find my stuff, linktree/SESVince on youtube.com/SESVince. Follow me on Twitter at SESVince.
It was so fitting. You remember that meme that you sent out, Travis, with the Squirtles, with the unfinished projects and then the new project? I sent that to Vince because he was supposed to get these polls out. We recorded this thing like 3 weeks ago. he's like, I'll get polls out and I'll tag you. And he didn't. And the fact that it was a Pokemon podcast and it was a Pokemon meme, it was so, because he's already on to the next thing. He's completely, we did that. There's more to do for the Pokemon thing, but he's already moved on, done other shit.
I get it though, because when you get another idea like that, you got to run with that.
Unfinished.
That in your head, and while you're thinking about it, and I'll get back to that at some point.
I'm trying to work out like a wrestling podcasters roundtable, kind of like the open court for NBA TV, where we sit down and have a discussion about who is the GOAT of pro wrestling, and have like a list of names and have the panel discuss those names and their claim to being the GOAT of pro wrestling. So that's something I'm trying to get going. And obviously,
I've got to close the show because my wife is probably very upset because it's so late and it's my turn to take over for the time. Yeah. So you guys can find Travis on Twitter and Instagram at Sir Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT. You guys can find me on Twitter only at Matt Ritter. That's at MATTRIDDER. You guys can find us on Facebook at Facebook.com/group/Smackin' Facebook.com/Creation World. We'll get you everything, including this Super Flash Year of Tomorrow podcast and all of our other content. There should be coming this month a creation conversation that Travis is not going to have me on, even though I'm the horror movie expert of the group. So please go check that out. Keep your eyes open for that and look for that. You guys can find Creation World on Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That is at THECREATIA. Please go check the link trees that are in my profile. That'll get you the videos for Pornhub and YouTube. We need you to subscribe on YouTube. So if you haven't done so, please go do so. Get those views up, because Travis is really bothered by the fact that we have more views on Pornhub than we do on YouTube, and nowhere near as many views on both as we do audio listens. So if you're listening to this, go subscribe to the YouTube. Help us out. Yes. Did I forget anything?
No, I think that's it. I think we're at 69 subscribers on YouTube, and even though I think that's hilarious and awesome, we need to get up to 100 at least.
Yeah, we need to get to 100. There's more than 100 of you listen to this podcast.
Let me get the keys to the YouTube. I'm one of the reasons I got Smack Raw to like 170 whatever they got right now. I can get you guys to 100. Give me a couple months. I can get you some content in there.
We'll talk.
All right. For Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer, and SCS Vince, I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are the #1 podcast or wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Peace.
Later.